What pretty eyes you have. Pray for the Bride is a Tubi original directed by Danny J. Boyle, who's done some Lifetime stuff, as in Lifetime Movies of the Week. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. And also written by J. Brian Dick. I am so sorry for what I imagine was quite a bit of bullying and prodding that happened in his youth. He's also done some Lifetime stuff, as in, again, Lifetime Movies of the Week. You can check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. And this takes place at a bachelorette party where somebody is seeking revenge for something that may have involved one or multiple women at this bachelorette party. And these women must solve this mystery before they're all history. Pray for the Bride tales. Woohoo! So yeah, Tubi originals either are really surprising, kind of or they get so monumentally ridiculous and just cringy with the amount of reveals and the amount of cringeworthy dialogue and cringeworthy acting that takes place. You're never actually really sure how the hell a movie got made. I do want to say that actually this almost goes a bit more towards the second category, even though there are elements of the third category. This was a movie that should have been a lot more fun than it was. It was a standard slasher with an obvious revenge plot that really had an obvious reveal, and then had a lot of reveals. In fact, this movie, and this usually is safe for the spoilers section, but I'll just say right now, this movie ended up throwing so many reveals, like, wait, no, I did this, no, wait, I did this. In the last few minutes, it kind of fell into that trap that some of these Tubi originals fall into, where they're like, shit, we haven't revealed enough. We just stretch this whole goddamn thing out with a murder mystery that really isn't all that mysterious, even though it is quite murdery. Let's just throw everything in there and let's make everybody unlikable, which they really didn't have to try with Pray for the Bride, because there's really no likable character in this. And also, some of the character motivations kind of don't make sense. And you also don't understand how any of these women actually were ever friends as far as characters. Maybe they are in real life. I don't know. So, yes, you have character of Jordan. And she recently lost a guy that she was really, really attached to named Holden because of a certain amount of circumstances and a certain set of events that get revealed a little bit later on as to exactly what happened. And she's overcoming all this. She ends up meeting a nice guy named Greg who proposes to her, and her friends decide to throw her a bachelorette party at a remote house with a lot of big windows. My God, cleaning those must be absolutely a goddamn nightmare. I've installed windows like that in houses. They're not easy at all. They're heavy. Very, very heavy. Enough about house construction. Let's talk about plot deconstruction. There isn't much to deconstruct here. You get people to get killed, you get an obvious reveal, and you get people acting like idiots. Okay, the environment is sort of kind of all right. It seemed like, it took place in all 2 locations. The opening is all right, actually. One of the characters does a smart thing by trying to get a gun to battle the killer and then forgets how to use it. That's kind of funny. But then the movie dissolves and really just goes into standard slasher fare. But unlike My Bloody Galentine, which is a Tubi original you should check out, that one didn't take itself so fucking seriously, or at least I didn't, and it was quite a bit of fun. This one really should have leaned more into the camp, because it just involved characters doing more stupid shit to where you didn't really care one bit. I am going to get into spoilers here in a little bit, but yeah, not really, not a lot of great characters here. Some decent kills, kind of, maybe, kind of meh, but it's the best part there. And at least you get a little bit of campy acting, but you just don't get enough to justify the fact this movie takes itself way too seriously for the 93-minute runtime. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, yeah, the boyfriend that died previously, he was basically bullied into ending his life. Something basically happened where his life ended up, he basically ended up, dying in a fire. He decided to dance into the fire, and the friends have been holding on to this secret, and all this stuff's been going on. So the beginning had this girl named Kimmy, played by Maya May Fields, who, she has pretty eyes, I gotta say that. She was the one wandering around with a gun and got killed by the killer, obviously. Who else would she get killed by? And kind of a decent opening scene. In fact, that was probably the best part. And then Jordan ends up saying yes to Greg. And then we get some college bonding, because all these girls went to college except for one character named Dorrit, played by Gatadesh Berth. I'm really sorry that I probably totally butchered that, and I do apologize. I have to say she at least tries in this movie. And I'm sure everybody else really tried, but nobody was really given a lot to sink their teeth into. Turns out that Dora kind of is a bit jealous of the fact that she knows Jordan, understands Jordan has these college friends that have this bond. There's this girl, Brooke, that, played by, Jackie Lai, who ends up, being, she has rich parents, and she has helped out various, members of the, sorority sisterhood. She even tried to help Dora, but no, that didn't work. Dora wanted to carve her own path, and it gets revealed as to why things happened with Holden the way they did, but everybody's happy for her and Greg, but they're going to have a bachelorette party, and things are going great. By the way, 12 minutes into the movie, almost 13 actually, one, they find out that Kimmy has gotten got by not little Jimmy, because that killer was a good R-Truth. That is a deep cut for wrestling fans. Kimmy was killed, and about 13 minutes into the movie, we get the title reveal. Movies need to stop doing that. That was my only issue with Influencer. Influencer, I think, went almost 30 minutes before revealing the title, and I don't understand why. So, yeah, we get a creepy limo driver that's taking pictures of the women. He gets offed. And if you haven't figured out actually what's going on by this point, it turns out that the killer was somebody that was close to this guy, Holden. It's one of the hired help, one of the hired servants, and it's his brother. That's kind of really just, the crux of the whole thing and why he did that. Because he wanted to know why. He wanted to know who was doing all this stuff. Oh, but before that, we're not going to have any phones for the weekend, because that always works out well in horror movies. Also, there's an older woman named Valerie doing her best Lynn Shay impression from the Insidious movies and other stuff. Except not nearly as good. She gets killed at one point in kind of a hilarious way. After Darren gets killed, we have some truth or drink, and it turns out these cards were printed off the internet. Somebody else printed these cards off and slipped them in the deck. No questions as to how this stuff ended up happening. No questions as to how these girls were not aware of all this shit going on in the house. Maybe they were idiots. Maybe they sustained several major head injuries before each scene happened. And I'm referring to the characters, not the actors. So it finally went a bit awry 40 minutes in as far as the movie goes. So I said that it was either going to be one of two things. It was either going to be Greg, because he was jealous of the fact that she was hanging out with so many of her friends, and he turned out to actually be the brother of Holden, or it was going to be somebody close to Holden, and it turned out that I kind of mixed those. It wasn't Greg. It was the brother of Holden, who was just one of the help that had some, goofy eye makeup on. It's showtime, folks. The killer was on the cliff, killed one of the other hired help, and then carved out, Lauren's eyes. None of these characters mean anything. It's something against the actor, but none of these characters mean anything. She got her eyes carved out and got stabbed, and she was found dead a while later. April and Jordan are trapped after the killer thumps them on the head with the knife. Doesn't actually, hits them with the handle. This does not look like knifing people at all. This does not look good. I'm going to stop this. Nord and Brooke are out looking for, looking for your limo driver, looking for all this shit going on. Limo driver's dead. All this stuff's happening, and I'm making it sound more interesting than it actually is, because unfortunately it just is not very good. One funny line that the killer had before he targeted Lauren was, "What pretty eyes you have," because he's wearing a wolf mask. Do you get it? You get it? Yeah, he's the big dumb wolf. So, yeah, Jordan and April end up getting drugged with these drinks on this on this roulette table wheel with these shot glasses that the killer just happened to have, and nobody's questioning this stuff. So it's because they drugged Holden. They wanted to basically get Jordan away from him, because they felt that Holden wasn't good enough for him. Like that Toni Braxton song, except the Toni Braxton song had more thought put into it. And if you know what I'm talking about, you sung that part of the particular review. And Greg then shows up. He gets slashed instantly. Brooke gets slashed. They get trapped. The killer basically reveals, I'm his brother, and you did this stuff, and I want confessions. I want answers, bitch. And he has a collage of all these pictures and all this stuff going on. So, multiple people are dead. We just have a few people left. Dora, by the way, has just, was trying to go for help, but, then decided to stay back because she really loves Jordan. That's where you thought it might have been a red herring. And you might have thought that it might have been, a high tension situation. Except this movie actually made more sense than high tension because that movie didn't make any sense at all. So Greg says he was in on it, I guess, apparently. This is where they just threw all the confessions in. And then Greg got shot. And then Dora killed the brother by knocking him off the landing because they're in this renovated part of this house and he falls to his death. Then she gets in a fight with Jordan because Jordan actually was in on the whole thing. Because she wanted confessions because she said, you caused me to lose the love of my life. And guys, she's in quote. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no goddamn sense. Oh. I wanted to kill you all, so I brought you here. Then Jordan got shot, which was kind of funny. And then Brooke got shot by Jordan just before she died. And Dora confessed the whole goddamn thing. Just saying they got attacked by a guy in a wolf mask. Oh. I don't expect much from movies like this. I expect, honest to God, just silliness. This didn't lean enough into the camp. And by the time we got to any of the silly, stupid stuff, the movie had lost the plot and gone off the rails. I'm sorry it gets an F. This is not very good. Watch it for yourself. Maybe you'll feel differently. I mean, I'm sure my review of My Bloody Galentine will raise questions as to how I enjoyed that. But that leaned into the camp, and I had a great time with this. I didn't have a great time with this. Pray for the Bride doesn't get a recommendation. That being said, who knows? Maybe the director and writer did some other good stuff. Maybe I'll have to check that out at some point. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Rickland. I'll see you soon.